Well, I started this video yesterday and I don't know what happened. My SD card, I think the SD card I had in this camera totally went bad. I took the one out of my old camera, stuck it in here, seems to be working. Been working on the old Tahoe here. Had a video about 80% done and all my files disappeared. But it is kind of a cruddy day today. Really foggy, had a lot of freezing, there's some freezing rain, freezing fog, that kind of stuff, especially north of here. A lot of schools are delayed, closed. And come the end of the week, we're supposed to get, it depends on where you look. Some places say upwards of a foot of snow and 20, 30 mile an hour winds. Weather Channel says 5 to 8 inches of snow on Friday and 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. So it looks like winter decided to settle in. Anyway, with the Tahoe, well, Mama Kitty got in. Anyway, with Tahoe, what I did, I got this this little tool made by Lyle, part number 62200, which is basically, it's over here somewhere. Basically like a big easy out. You drive that down in that hole into what was left of that fitting, which I don't even know where it is. And I was able to pull this little thing out. It took some doing. It took about 2 hours to get this out. I just had to keep pounding that in and working it real slow, and finally it came out. And then I also got this tap and I ran it down in there. I just did it by hand. Seems like the threads are fine in there, so I think we're good to go. Probably really didn't need to get that. So now, really all that's left to do, screw this guy down in there. I might put another wrap of Teflon tape on those threads. Screw that down in there, hook up the hose, top it off with coolant, and we should be good to go. I did have it running. I filled it, when I was trying to fix it, it's been several days ago. Filled it with coolant. It's still, I don't know if you can see it now. Well, it was. Looks like the radiator's about half full. So I would think most of the air is probably already out of it, but can't fill the radiator clear full because there is a leak over here where this line right there fastens in. It does leak if it gets up that high. It's been that way for years, and that's just the way it is. So I'm going to I'm gonna put some Teflon tape, like I said, on these threads, a little bit more. Screw that down in the hole, put the line in, fill it with antifreeze, and we should be good to go. So we'll just get a little more Teflon tape on these threads. I know you can't see very good, but we'll get this down in the hole there. I can't see very good either. And I can't remember what size socket that takes. I'm going to go ahead and drive that down in the hole. Alright, we'll get this screwed down in there. That should do it. Put our heater line back on. I think it just snaps down in there. It's like that, I guess. And top off the coolant, start her up. Hopefully everything's good. Well, I believe she's fixed. I was beginning to wonder there at first because I started it up and let it run, and there was an occasional drip underneath of this thing. And I think what was going on, where's my light? I don't have it on me. Well, I think what was going on is right where that fitting is, well, down by the valve cover, there was, I think there was a kind of a pool of coolant there. And I think when it got warmed up, it was starting to move around and just dripping down off of the block. And I think there was also just some coolant kind of everywhere, and it was heating up and just getting its way out of there. I've had it running for probably a good half hour, 45 minutes, and don't see any drips anywhere. Everything looks like it's starting to dry up, and I think we got her. So I'm going to let it cool off, and then I'm going to open this back up and top it off and call it good. So I apologize, missed out on a lot of this video, because like I said, I had about 80% of a video done, and I don't know what happened. My SD card, just all the files were gone. I kept getting SD card errors. Swapped out the card out of the old camera, and it seems to be working fine. So I guess I'll keep using it. And still waiting for my tank to get this heater going. I hope it's going to be this week still, but starting to have my doubts on that as well. Haven't heard anything. It's going to get pretty darn cold here this weekend, and nasty weather and stuff. Don't really even want to go out anywhere if we're going to have 10, 12 inches of snow and 20, 30 mile an hour winds. Would much rather have that up and running, but maybe I'll just have to stay up in the house. And I tell you, you start up a vehicle inside here, this shoots up real quick. It went up to 170. Right after I started, I opened the door up, and I even turned these heaters on and pointed this fan out this way. But it shot up to 170 real quick. After I opened the door, it went back down to 0 here. But yeah, don't run a vehicle in an enclosed area. Isn't that right, Jesse? Yeah, you want to go to the house, don't you? So it is the next morning. Jesse and I, we headed up to the house last night. And I left the Tahoe down here all night just so I could come down here and see real easy on the cement if it's been leaking anything. And it's not, so I think she's fixed. And it is a cold morning. I think it's negative 2 or 3 right now. Gonna be that way for a couple of days. I mean, that's not the high, but it's cold, and we're expecting a bunch of snow and wind tomorrow into Saturday. It's going to get kind of nasty, I think. They've never been wrong on that before, of course. And arriving UPS today, I've got a little issue with the furnace up in the house. The induction motor and fan starting to go bad. So I got one of those, ordered one of those day before yesterday. It's on the truck. It's out for delivery right now. Once it arrives, I'll be putting it on the furnace. Looks like it shouldn't take very long. Pretty straightforward. Looks like there's about 4 screws and a plug and a ground wire. So it shouldn't be too difficult. But with cold temperatures and nasty weather coming in, can't afford to have your furnace go down on you. Anyway, I'm getting back in here in the shop. I just got down here a little while ago and turned the heaters on, but it's still pretty cool. Actually feels pretty darn good in here. Anyway, as it turns out, this little guy was worth his weight in gold. Well, okay, not really. If this was solid gold, it'd probably be worth more than that old Tahoe out there, but this saved the day. Barely, but it did it. It did the job. And didn't really need to get this, but I have it anyway, so if I ever need it again, I've got it. And I will link these down below. Again, that's a Lyle, part number is 62200. Anyway, guys, don't forget to check out that new shirt design. It'll be linked down below, also on the end screen. And give this video a big old thumbs up. Comments, they go down below. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you always know when I upload a video. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.